Quickly, now moving on to our second panel discussion for the day on interrogating how the use of cloud impacts the student and teaching experience. Let me start by introducing the moderator for the session, Engineer Abdulmajeed Alqarni, IT Leader, Ministry of Education, KSA, Dr. Abdulrahman Alshdadi, Vice Dean College of Computer Science and Engineering, University of Jeddah, KSA, Mr. Basel Awad, Senior Sales Engineer, Citrix, Dr. Mejdal Alqahtani, Assistant Professor and Vice President of Innovation Unit, King Saud University, KSA, Mr. Hussain Almarhoon, Senior Systems Engineer, Nutanix, Dr. Murad Mansoor, Assistant Professor of Management, King Fahd University of Petroleum and Minerals, and our last panelist, Dr. Shadda Al-Amri, Head of Entrepreneurship and Innovation Department, University of Technology and Applied Sciences, Oman. Over to you, and the stage is all yours. Abdulmajeed, go ahead and moderate the panel. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Today we are here to listen to this talk in interrogating how the use of cloud impacts the student and teaching experience. Education is an important factor in social, economic growth. Nowadays, students have become more technologically perception as learning and teaching uses new technology. Different education institutes use various cloud-based applications provided by service providers for the students and other users to perform academic and other tasks. Cloud computing is simulating development in education sector. Students and academicians have the opportunity to quickly and economically use various applications, domains, and resources through a network. Cloud computing provides more reliable and transparent storage solutions. And this session defines that cloud computing plays an important role in education area, how we can share the quality education by using the cloud-based technology. It's a great and a pleasure to me to be the moderator. And I want to start with the speaker, Dr. Shadda Al-Amri. Dr. Shadda, welcome to the panel.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Dr. Shadda, I want to ask you how students can utilize cloud computing services to improve their skills inside the education class.
First, and thank you for this invitation. I'm glad today to be with you to discuss this important topic. Basically, everyone knows the cloud and its benefits and so on. So the focus over here is how to utilize it in education. Then, so when we come to students, we can categorize the students to two categories. One category, like all the students in different specialization, science, science, engineering, and so on. Because nowadays, cloud can make their learning life easier. And a long time ago in our generation, we have to have floppy disk to have our files. If we lost it, we lost everything and so on. So it was hectic. Nowadays, the students, if they use cloud, they can make use of the storage. So no need to have flashes and so on. So they can have their data everywhere. They can access it from their phone, from home, from university. So the first thing is, before we even go in depth, the students should be aware. There should be awareness for the students about the benefits of cloud and how they can make use of it. Because if they don't know about it, they cannot make use of it, okay? So this is one, is the storage things. Another thing is now, like what we have seen when COVID hit everywhere. Everyone was like, they have to stay home and to do their education. At this time, we figure out that we need a cloud. And the problem is the people are not used to use it. So we have another problem, that how to convince people to use it, how to introduce it to them. So currently, the student should get those kind of, let's say, list, not just for storage, even for students from computer science or IT or computer engineering. Cloud can provide them like platform as a service. So no need for me to buy some software to do some configuration development, because this libraries, this softwares, I can get it from cloud cheaper. So this is platform as a service as well should be introduced to students. As well, students who work in networking, in security, and so on, they should know that there is virtual machine. They can use virtual machine to configure it. They can have virtual network, so they can build the whole network virtually from their computer. So this is what I just wanted to make it clear, that we as teachers, academic, and even institutes, we need first figure out the services, introduce them to the students, make it easy for them to utilize them. So this is how the students can utilize cloud and as much as they can, if they know about that. So this is
great. So my second question, how higher education provides or can inject cloud computing to enhance teaching and learning experience to meet blended learning approach?
Yeah, so I start from the last word, blended learning. Because what happened, the traditional learning is everyone in class having the lecture and that's it. Online learning, like everything online, which is like what happened during COVID-19, everything online, teaching, learning, and assessment. Blended is mean what? During the normal days, when there is students in university, we should have or introduce online teaching to them through different platforms. So that when something happened like emergency, at least it's not for them to use online platform. So cloud can support blended learning, which is mixture between traditional and online learning. So as institutes, as universities, we should think about it and implement it. I'll give you an example. I am a lecturer in networking. So since 5 years ago, we have our material online. We already even final exam, the student can do it online. So when the pandemic comes, our networking students already used to the system, already used to be use online examination. So for them, it is a matter of just doing exams and learning from home, not totally from the university. So what is the point is here is we are not like advertising for cloud providers, but this service, it is important. We can use the cloud provider in the market, or even the university itself can build a cloud using open source. The point is to blend the learning. It means teaching, assessments, material should be on cloud to make it easier for everyone to access anywhere, anytime, all the time. So this is my point.
Thank you, Dr. Rashada. I want to move now to Dr. Murad. Hello, Dr. Murad.
Hi, good evening. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Abdulmajeed.
You are welcome. Dr. Murad, you know how much the innovation is important today to enhance the education and many sectors. Actually, that's how most of companies building the centers of innovations. So I would to ask you, how does cloud computing bring innovation to in education?
Yeah, I think over these years, we are witnessing a huge move, especially in the education also industry. Teaching and learning is no more and no longer is confined in our textbooks, in our classrooms, but now it is reaching all these devices, computers, mobile phones, etc. So the learners or the students, they are more connected. They are on and off the school grounds. So all of these will help them to, if we get the right technology, to enhance their real life, real world, and career ready skills. Cloud computing is not the exception. It is one of these technologies that will help to share all this knowledge irrespective of the location of the users. And by implementing these cloud computing, it is possible to bring teachers and learners together on a single unified platform. So schools or universities, I think they need not only to buy, own, and maintain their own servers, but also to use this cloud computing to avail this computer power, databases they have, storage, and other services they need. Cloud computing, it can help a lot. It has many benefits in the field of education. We can create a strong virtual classroom environments. Maybe Dr. Shada, she mentioned this, especially now in the coronavirus. After that, we are aware that we need more this cloud-based software to create virtual classrooms for students. So we are reducing the infrastructure cost very well. We can have the ease of accessibility between the learners and all the groups activities. We can do it. So there is no that barrier of place and time. No longer it is existing with the cloud. So the cloud will ensure this seamless delivery of content at all time, at anywhere, at any place. This also will help universities and schools to benefit from this cloud in terms of cost saving. So the learners and the providers can experience big benefits in this regard. So students, they don't need to invest in expensive boxes or application, as these learning resources are available on the cloud. So providers also can lower the management cost by let's say they can simplify all the processes, for example, enrollment, assignment, tracking, etc. Okay, all of this will help to reduce the cost for everybody. Also, in this computing storage, you can secure your data storage. Okay, so I think that many they use the VPN. At the same time, okay, you can protect your privacy in this cloud-based learning application. Also, the computing or cloud computing can cover schools and colleges, and scale up their learning application and experiences quickly and easily. So we can handle an increasing number of students. And I think, especially in our region, the number of students is increasing every year. So there is a huge need for this cloud computing and the scalability of all this number, a huge number and growing number of users at the same time. There is this innovation, there is agility that we are experiencing. So we want to go fast and increase the frequency. All of this will make better the experience for students. Also, the cloud computing can bring the opportunity for students to expand, more their horizon. They can explore new concepts of online, using this online education. They can reach people and networking everywhere. Okay, and more than that, we need less hardware, okay? So the students can manage to learn with their mobile phones anywhere. So these are some of the benefits maybe we can get from this cloud computing that I think many universities, they need to have and to adopt quickly.
Thank you, Dr. Murad, for that added information. I want to move to Mr. Basel. Hello, Mr. Basel.
Hello, hi, assalamu alaikum. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving us the time to join you today. Very grateful for that.
You are welcome. Mr. Basel, you know, today there's many types of clouding and there is many of services. Actually, it's huge services.
Correct.
So what is the added value that cloud solutions offer to students?
So to be honest, there are many benefits when using cloud services from security, experience, flexibility perspectives. But if I wanted to highlight on one particular value that I think directly affects the students, it would be from the flexibility part, where, as mentioned by my co-panelists, that students nowadays, they can use any device to access their learning resources. Previously, that was not possible. It was challenging, actually. The students would rely on the devices provided by the university or school in a computer lab or a classroom to access these learning resources. But this is not the case anymore, especially with Citrix. With Citrix Cloud Services and Technologies, a student can leverage any kind of device, especially low-cost devices, from desktops, laptops, all the way to iPads, tablets, and mobile phones. So this is my point of view on the added value.
Great. So how can education institutes utilize cloud technologies to ensure education continuity?
Well, this is something that we have seen actually raising in high demand, especially after the COVID pandemic. We have seen already many students, they had to shift from the traditional way to work from home or to access their education resources from anywhere. And cloud technologies are built on that perspective that it should be accessed from anywhere and used from anywhere. For example, if with the education institutes can leverage Citrix Desktop as a Service or DaaS to provide the students with instant access to their applications or learning resources anytime, anywhere, using any device. What Citrix does, students are no longer tied to a specific location or physical location like classroom. They can leverage it to be anywhere and access these resources anytime. So that ensures their learning continuity. So that's my point of view.
Thank you, Mr. Basel. Thank you.
Welcome.
Dr. Mejdal Alqahtani. Welcome, Dr. Mejdal.
Yes. Hello, everyone. Hi. How are you? It's my pleasure to meet you today.
You are so welcome. So, as you know, there is a high demand on cloud services. So, why there is a continuous increase in market size of cloud computing and education worldwide?
Yes, thank you for that question, Engineer Abdulmajeed. So basically, if we are looking to the market size, especially in the cloud computing in educational sector from 2019 to 2027. So it's expected that the market size will be increased from around $15.31 billion to reach around $89.53 billion in 2027, with an increase of around 24.58 in the compound annual growth rate. So each year, there will be an increase around 24.5 in the market size in the educational sector. This indicates the importance of and the huge investment in this and the cloud computing in the education. So back to the question, there is an obvious increase in this sector. So I try to summarize it into three reasons or three factors. One of them is the rising requirement for a unified ecosystem for managing academic activities. So there is a huge requirement. There is needed requirement in many governments. They try to enforce such a requirement. So the companies in the schools and institutions and universities in both private and public sector, they have to meet such a requirement. So another reason is the competitiveness among universities. So each university and institution, they try to compete each other. So one of the main advantage is to apply the cloud computing technology. So other reason, and this is very important, is the competitive advantage of the cloud computing as compared on the on-premise solution. So there are three main advantages I try to emphasize here is the safety and security. It's very clear the cloud computing, it's very safe in terms of this, so they can initiate and a protocol and high protocol in security in terms of servers, operation systems, and also in data protection, security, and recovery. So also there are a huge flexibility in applying or implementing the cloud computing. And as we can see, if we see flexibility, we are going to focus on two things. It's about scalability. So the school and institution can scale up and down based on the business needs. Also in the mobility, so they can go from one location to another. So if they want to open a new branch, so it would be not a big issue for them. Or also if you want to go from local to international, it would be not an issue. So the lastly is about the cost effective. So in terms of maintenance, upgrades, so as compared with the on-premise solution. So there will be a huge amount of money that has to be paid at the beginning for renting or initiate or buying a new space, and also setting up the needed infrastructure in terms of the servers and the storage, and also hiring a new specialists and technicians.
Great. That will take me to the second question. What are the major driving applications of cloud computing technology in the education sector?
Okay, so if we are looking to the cloud computing in the area of education, we are thinking about, there are four players in this field. So one of them is the student, second teacher, third the parents, and fourth the administrator. So the cloud computing allows students to have access to the homework, project, assignments, like sometimes there will be an open board discussion. So all of these advantages can be granted by the students. So the other advantage is going to go to the teacher. So the teacher can instantly upload the learning materials and resources. So the students always will have access to see those materials and review it consistently. Also, if we are looking to the administrator, can easily collaborate with one another and save money for the data storage, and to make sure the data and the scores are secured and highly controlled. Also, the parent can easily monitor their kids' performance and be in the close connection with the school and the teachers. So the goal is, basically the goal is to create a unified and equal environment where the students, parents, teacher, and administrator can log in wherever, and can they log in? Yes, from anywhere and anytime, wherever there is an internet connection. So this is basically the answer of this question.
Great. I think the best example may be Blackboard for this services. Thank you, Dr. Mejdal Alqahtani. Now I will move to Dr. Abdulrahman Alshdadi. Welcome, Dr. Abdulrahman.
Thank you very much, Engineer Abdulmajeed. Good afternoon in Saudi Arabia for everyone, and I'm very glad to having me among distinguished panelists. Mr. Abdulmajeed.
You are welcome to the panel. As you know, the cloud services has many benefits. Actually, speakers talk about some of them, but I want to ask you what are the benefits? Maybe we don't use it or see it of using cloud in higher education institutions, especially you work in a university.
Great question. At the beginning, there are many benefits for the cloud, as my colleagues' benefits mentioned earlier. But these benefits need to be studied in a migration project for the cloud services. So what I recommend, or all the scientists recommend in the cloud computing, that the migration project is not an easy task. There are many benefits. The benefits, it depends on the condition or the size of the institutions, and depends on the services they are having in their plan, the migration plan. There are many services, educational services, IT-based services, and it depends on the level of both the service layer, so software as a service platform or infrastructure, and also on the type of the cloud they are looking to migrate to. So there are some examples. They start building the in-premises cloud and become a host for the cloud services. And where are others, depends on the size. If they are startups, they defend it's their chance to go for a ready-made services, software as a service, for example, for emails, for office packages, and for learning management systems such as blackboards. And they have different hybrid services from different providers. But the most important things to know the capabilities of the human power, the infrastructure, also the needs for the services, and the benefits, it will be, inshallah, on the right side for all of them. Also, what I need to mention is to go for, as one of the doctors mentioned, that check the SLA requirements carefully for all the agreements for the migration to get the most benefits, even not look down in the cloud or looked in the cloud, and also try to invest in also migrating the legacy systems as they can for get the benefits of the migration. But all the benefits they mentioned, the colleagues, they mentioned it for the scalability, for the flexibility, for having the on-demand services. It's going to be for the academic services and also for the IT portals inside any higher education institutions.
Great. So do you know, I think the experience, it will be different between majors. So there is experience in engineering to using the cloud services, and maybe in art, different experience. So from your experience, how can cloud enhance teaching experience in computer science?
Great. So in computer science, like having all the learning environments at hand. So the clouds give you the chance to teach the students in a virtual environment. For students, for example, like working on a bare metal servers, like building an environment from the scratch, building a networks, building the data center, even virtual data center events, and also dealing with high performance computing that is hosted in the cloud. Some of the clouds, they provide high performance computing services, high performance power that can be leveraged using like renting by hours or by. So these capabilities, most of the universities don't have this kind of high performance computing, so they can get the benefit of running their scientific research experiences, experiments, and also teach the students how to deal with all the environments that is, as you know, that most of the giant or IT giant players in the world are now adopting the cloud computing. So if you teach your students, the computer science students, how to run an experiments and run their codes on the cloud environments, they're going to be also, you're hitting two birds in one stone, that your students are capable and now ready for the work place markets, not even in Saudi Arabia and all over the world, that they'll teach how to deal with all layers, with all services, like if they are going to develop some tools or some programs using the platform as a services, like a development kits, using the, for example, we have a Google Colab for running an AI experiments using machine learning tools. Also on the different layers they can work, networking, IT people, they can also harness the benefits of the cloud, and teaching the students to work on the virtualization as well, which is a hot topic, and serverless also development using different techniques.
Thank you, Dr. Abdulrahman. It was valuable. Thank you so much. Now with Mr. Hussain Almarhoon. Welcome, Mr. Hussain.
Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for this opportunity to be among the leaders in the education sector and the technology, covering the technology in these sectors as well.
You are welcome. So we have to define something inside the education experience. So what are the keys elements defines the education experience when using the cloud services? So how Nutanix complementing the hybrid cloud transformation journey?
Great. Those are actually a great question. So basically, if you think about it, during the COVID times, we realized that there are multiple elements. If you think about it, one of it is the ability to access the services of the education part, the ability to have a seamless use, for the students not to get interrupted, not to get disconnected from their lessons. And also, if you think about it, in terms of workloads that, we have education applications and we have users connected to these services. So we want to make sure that there is the ability to accommodate the burst of users connecting to these services. So basically, how Nutanix is complementing the hybrid cloud model is to provide a platform to run application services and all application education services, and also accommodate users to run on a hybrid cloud model where you have workloads that it can run on your private cloud and also workload that can run on your cloud provider, which give you a seamless integration to move workloads between both clouds. This is one part. The other part is, when you have the hybrid cloud model, you'll be able to easily move between clouds. You'll not be locked into your private cloud, or you'll not be locked to the public cloud provider. Not to mention that you need to have a strong alliance with our technology partners and also the cloud providers, so you can move your workloads here and there, depending on the burst of users, depending on the use cases, and also the applications that you are running in the education field.
Great. So today, the cybersecurity and cloud protection is the most or one of the most topics trend today. So how can cybersecurity impact the education experience? What measures Nutanix has taken to help enhance the security of the platform?
Okay, so as all of us know, one of the great dangers here is cyber attacks, right? Which can cause, the most part that we can see is causing service interruptions. And this will cause a lot of damage from the teaching experience or education experience as well. So one aspect is how to limit the attack spectrum of the attackers, and also how to keep the data away from being tampered with. So basically, from Nutanix is built by design as a security platform, emphasizing on protecting the workloads and providing segregation of the workloads and applications between each other, and also if you talk about the users. So you need to limit the literal movement between whether it's an application, whether users utilizing the platform. And this is what Nutanix is currently working on. The other part is to avoid data being deleted or being tampered with, is to provide immutable data stores where the education entity could protect their data and protecting it from ransomware attacks. And this, the great thing about this could be done across your private cloud and also the cloud that is running Nutanix, where you can have a flexibility of a hybrid cloud model when you're utilizing the Nutanix services.
Great, thank you, Mr. Hussain, for your mention. Thank you so much. Actually, we have a few minutes more. Please, anyone of the speaker want to add more comment?
One comment that I would like to add, if I may, in here, thinking about the hybrid cloud model. So basically, the cloud, as you know, it's not fit for every application. And also, if you think about it from private cloud perspective, you need to have something that could link into between clouds. As you know, the data that you have, think about it as an apartment, right? You rent the apartment, you don't own the apartment, you only own the time within that apartment. From this perspective, sometimes you need to spin some applications based on the demand on that apartment. Once you don't need that workload that is running there, you can take back the workload and put it back on your private cloud, giving you more flexibility and more cost saving in this case.
Great, thank you, Mr. Hussain. I want to back to Dr. Shada, because she is a guest from Oman. Dr. Shada, how can the innovation contribute in cloud services to enhance the education process?
Let's see now, as we mentioned now, for example, we have people from Citrix.
Yes.
Okay. Is one of the companies here. There is a variation of companies, different providers. So the wise thing is to know first our requirements, because each provider has different level of service. So the service level agreement should be clear for the education. So to make it wisely, and what I meant, we should not pay for something we are not using it. And then we go and blame cloud is not useful, because sometimes people need to study it well, find the requirement, the right provider. If the provider, it will be in-house or out-house, it depends on their requirement, and then they go for it. So there is planning stage first. Now, when we talk about innovation, now everyone is talking about innovation. Basically, innovation is to link different stakeholders and allow those stakeholders to work together in order to create an innovative way of doing things. If we say innovation in education, معناتها now we need to do the education in an innovative way, not traditional way. So cloud in this case can provide this kind of innovative teaching and learning. And they can be, as I told you a while, is to find the clue how this can be implemented. Here in Oman, for example, we have a cloud provider in-house within Oman, and we have policy within the country as well, not to put the data outside. So when there is any cloud provider from outside Oman, there's some regulation that some data should not be out. So the people here within the country should be like studied well what things can be outside the country, data, because of the privacy things and so on, what things should be inside and how much I should pay. And so this is ongoing, by the way, still ongoing. Still the usage not yet mature enough. يعني بعدنا ما وصلنا لدرجة إنه we use cloud so freely and so nicely what we expect. But it is in the way ongoing, and inshallah we managed to use in the right perspective.
Inshallah, thank you, Dr. Rashada. Ms. Bridget, do we have more time? Are we done?
No, Abdulmajeed, we are done. So we can.
Okay. Okay. I will close I will do the final message. Thank you for your simulating experiences in our discussion today. Comments were especially helpful to those doing enhanced education process based on the cloud. Speaker talks seem to provide much needed help. Thanks again for truly memorable evening. We hope all speakers join us again. Have a great day and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abdulrahman, Mohammed, Basil, Mejdal, Hussain, Shadda for an insightful discussion, and Murad as well for an insightful discussion, and Abdulmajeed for wonderfully moderating this panel. I hope you'll have a great rest of the day and continue to enjoy this summit. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.